Hey, it's Haplin, and in this video we're going to lay some of the groundwork for the strategic conversion part of this playbook, and that is creating a standing offer. This offer is going to be like a carrot that we dangle out in front of our entire audience, anybody seeing our posts or interacting with our social media profiles, etc. It's going to be the thing that kicks off the conversion process. This is also sometimes called a lead magnet. We call it that because it attracts leads into our marketing ecosystem. So you're not going to be just trying to get likes and comments and views on your content. You're going to be trying to give people a good reason to engage further with your business and hopefully start to take some baby steps down a conversion path. When it comes to thinking through your standing offer, you can create any kind of offer that you want, but I want to share some general principles that most people find really helpful to creating effective standing offers. One, the lower the commitment for the lead, the better, and that's why most good standing offers tend to be free. Two, this one kind of goes without saying, but it's valuable. A lot of people want it, especially the type of person that you would like buying from you. The type of person that you want in your marketing ecosystem, something that person would find very valuable. Three, it's easy for you to give away. You could have 1,000 people take you up on this offer and you wouldn't lose any sleep over it. And then four, this is sort of extra credit, but it's the real tactical genius of a good standing offer. It integrates and flows seamlessly into the rest of your sales process. And that's it. Just four simple little principles to follow and you'll have the perfect standing offer, right? Well, sort of. And that's why I wanted to make this video first, to encourage you to really think deeply about this whole standing offer process, because it's a linchpin between your social media activity and actually converting folks into sales and opportunities for your business. It's a really important step, but it can be difficult to dial in. In practice, when you actually get into considering different standing offers, what you'll find is that these four principles can sometimes come into conflict with one another, and you'll have to do a little bit of intentional thinking and mental calculus to kind of strike the right balance between the four. So let's go over a couple examples really quick. I'll just cherry pick some very popular examples I'm sure we've all seen all over the internet. Hopefully the light bulb should be clicking that this is what that marketer is doing. If you've ever seen this tactic out in the wild, now you understand exactly what's going on sometimes behind the scenes to actually drive a sales process. A free ebook delivered as a PDF. I'm sure everyone has seen a social media profile that said, get my free ebook. You just have to give your email address or click a link or do some kind of action, trade your contact information, and then you get the lead magnet. This is a great example of a standing offer, and it's very popular for a reason, but there are trade-offs. Benefits include delivery and scale. You can send off 1,000 of these automatically and not lose an ounce of sleep at night, so it checks that box. Totally free for the lead, so it checks that box as well. But when it comes to value versus integrating with the sales process, sometimes you'll find that the more value you put into a free ebook, maybe it doesn't encourage as many people to go down the rest of the sales process. Maybe it's not quite striking a chord to get people engaged, or maybe it's the opposite. Maybe there's so much value in your ebook that it gets people excited to go down the sales process. Or depending on the business, it might just be hard for you to figure out the content for a free ebook, and you have to put all that together up front. So if you've ever opted in to receive a free ebook and it was basically just an extended sales pitch or otherwise was kind of devoid of value, then you'll know exactly what I'm talking about. Another one is like a free discovery call, a 15-minute call with the business. You can get on a free consultative call or whatever. Super popular to do. This is also free for the lead. That's great. It's also highly related to the sales process. In fact, it basically is just the start of the sales process, but it does not scale well. You cannot give out 1,000 of these without a lot of infrastructure. In fact, you need a lot of infrastructure and planning set up even just to be able to take one of these a day. I mean, you need the calendar, you need a lot of stuff going on. We'll talk about setting all that stuff up too. That might be totally worth it to your business. The point here is just that there's trade-offs to be made and you need to think intentionally about creating your standing offer. One more common with like e-com or retail is like a 10% off coupon. They can trade their info to get emailed a coupon code that they can then use upon checkout. This is free, it's easy to deliver at any scale, it's highly related to the business's sales process. The only question really is if that's valuable enough to actually drive sales. So these are the kind of considerations you should be keeping in mind while you're trying to create your own standing offer. And hopefully I've given you some good fodder for thinking through that in this video. As a final word of advice, I will just say, as a beginner at the start of a new marketing initiative like this, when you're creating the standing offer, you want to err on the side of maximizing lead volume. Push yourself to lower the commitment level, lower the barriers to entry, and increase the value as much as possible so that you can maximize the number of people taking you up on it. This is both logical and psychological. The psychological is pretty straightforward. You want more leads, it's more activity, it kind of lifts your spirits and lets you know that you're headed in the right direction. But logically, it's actually better to be working with more data. If you launch a new initiative with a new standing offer and you get no leads, then it's kind of hard to tell what's not working. Obviously, something is not working. Obviously, this isn't valuable enough, or not enough people are seeing it, or it could be a couple different things, but it's kind of hard to tell. But if you launch that initiative and get 100 people in the pipeline within a few days, then even if there's problems with sales or whatever, it's much easier to look into why these people aren't converting, etc., etc. So that's some really good advice that I got from an old mentor of mine. I just wanted to pass on to you. But that said, take a few minutes to come up with an initial idea. It doesn't have to be set in stone, just an initial idea for your standing offer. Think about your business, your culture, your current audience, and just come up with something that you actually believe in, something you genuinely think is going to be valuable and that's going to work. The last thing that you want to do is to try to get tricky or sneaky or try to bait and switch people into your marketing ecosystem. That tends not to work. And it's also just soul sucking and not a fun way to be a marketer. So I recommend against that. But once you have an initial standing offer idea, you can go ahead and move on.